very good morning to you once again and welcome to Signature Morning. My name is Godwin Sunday. The issues around humanitarian conversations and also the detailing and profiling of humanitarian cases across Nigeria has really become a very crucial issue to handle even across board. While many will say that the issues around humanitarian conversation has not led to phenomenal progress, others will tend to disagree with this conversation. But then, what we all know is that whatever we do for one, it's going to further affect or further improve on what our relationship in general with humanity. Well, this is my way of again saying welcome as we'll be talking this morning on localization of humanitarian response even in Nigeria. How quick are we to respond to humanitarian issues and crises in Nigeria? And joining me in this conversation is Mr. Garuba Adamu, and we will be putting the eyes into the cake on this conversation. Welcome to Signature Morning once again.
Thank you very much. Good morning to you. And good morning, our viewers.
Honorable Garuba, not here, we are more of a humanitarian conscious, but then it's as if it's not enough. Give us an overview. What do you make of our various humanitarian gestures as it stands right now, even in Nigeria?
Well, another good morning to you. Humanitarian is a holistic term. Why do I say that? We have humanitarian support when it comes to times of flood, fire, disaster, and other kind of. So, in what aspects is the welfare going to take place? The humanitarian services. We are concentrating on a region now, which is the north. If you look at it critically, humanitarian services, the structures are there. The reason how they have to implement it is there. But the people who are supposed to be the frontliners to get these things implemented, in one way or the other, perhaps they don't understand what they call the welfareism of the people they are there to implement it for. They have the less humanity attitude within themselves first. They are not putting themselves in the shoes of those people they want to implement it for, to support them, to carry it out effectively, and to know that, yes, we have made impact in humanity services.
All right, so just to put the conversation in perspective, we'll be starting first from we being human, especially in the western part, in the western part of Nigeria, the average Yoruba person is welcoming, and it's believed that African in general are welcoming. We like visitors, we like to receive visitors. In Kogi State, for example, when you get there, you're a visitor, the way they welcome you and treat you well, it will give you some of the best meals to eat if you are visiting for the first time. Same thing with Cross River State, amazing, and it is like a generic thing in Nigeria.
Yeah.
But again, we're starting first with how do we treat ourselves as human first before we now even start digressing to other deeper conversation, because we're looking at it from the perspective again where people tend to abuse humanitarian services.
Sure.
So a lot of people are now becoming skeptical.
Sure.
But then in the north, we also know we have a very warm reception when it comes to the north. If you get to Kaduna, you get to Gombe, they welcome you with
Sure.
an open hand.
Sure.
Even here in the north, I've not been to other part of the north, I can say, but the states I've been to, I can say for sure what they stand for and
Sure.
what they represent.
Sure.
But then we have cases where a lot of issues are happening, a lot of things are happening within this regions where we expect people, humanitarian services to be preferred and people to show humanity some form of virtue. but people turn blind eyes on some of this humanitarian services, on some of these services, and some of the solutions that they're trying to provide. So I'm talking general. Do you think we are losing our virtue as a people by way of recent fears, where people begin to turn blind eyes to what they were supposed to do by being a human first before even thinking of which tribe or region you come from?
Well, interestingly enough, yeah, it's not turning the blind eyes. It's also, I said, people have been skeptical, to reach out a helping hand to the next person. But it's very few. We have the private sectors, we have the public sectors, we have the NGOs who can also work with the public. Being human first, lo and behold, I have been opportune to travel virtually most of the states in the north, from Katsina to Borno to Kano, Jigawa, Yobe, Kaduna itself, and Adamawa. So they have similar humanitarian activities when it comes to receptiveness. But back in those days, it was better than now. And due to the crisis that we have been faced in the northern region, it has made some people to be skeptical about it. So they leave most of these humanitarian activities and services to the well-to-do private sectors with the aims and the helps of the international organization, and basically they left it to the government of the day or government of the state. So individually, you see your neighbor maybe going hungry. You're even trying to see how you can feed a 2 square meter, not to talk of a 3 square meter, or your personal self. So helping hand to the next person, you will tell yourself, I've not even been satisfied, so you first. Unlike before that, you see you are so respectful, your neighbor can come to your house, you can go to your neighbor's house, whatever you have, you can share. That's part of the humanitarian activities. As low as that, we're not even going to the broader aspect yet about those other disasters and the rest. We're just talking of what you can look at, how to bring your neighbor close, how to bring another human being close, how to cater for other people around you. But now most of these things are being left to the system, because the system is not so favorable. So now people are turning blind eyes on those aspects. Humanitarian activities now, it has even gone so chaotic to the extent that even family members, they are not even having that humanitarian touch anymore. Because what I talk of humanity, talking of love. They say love yourself as you love their neighbor, love your neighbor as you love yourself, do unto others how you want them to do unto you. These are some of the principles of humanitarians. But now the love is not there, the care is very low, Now everybody is all being what they call self-centered or egocentric. Things are becoming so low esteemed. How do we get there? How did we find ourselves here? What is the system? Is the system favorable for everybody? We keep on using the system because they use power to make things better for the human. They use power to ensure that services are being reached out. People have that favorism. But now things turn out to be the other way, and other people have to think out of the box and see how they can survive the other way also.
At this point, don't you think that the fact that one man's food can be another man's poison,
Yeah.
in terms of even cultural backgrounds, has largely led to these all discrepancies in our humanitarian services? Can culture affect love? Can culture affect growth? Can culture affect development even within a society?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. Basically, culture is, like I say, culture is everything. Culture affects your religion,
All right.
your love.
If, for example, can we now say that it's because of the fact that people's cultures varies, ethnic group differs, that's why people, can this also be a factor why people turn blind eyes against
I disagree with
humanitarian
that.
services?
No, I disagree with that. I don't need to go too far with that. I disagree with that. We have lived over some time. The decades I know have been exposed to traveling around. from either from the Edoa Uche axis to the Benue Makodi places to the Ogoja Cross River places. They're all different cultures. And what the culture is preaching is love. As I said, yes, culture affects. So I don't believe that because the culture differs makes the humanitarian services low. No. Africa as a whole, not just even Nigeria now. Let's go broader a little. Africa as a whole, if you have the opportunity to step out of not even the boundaries of Nigeria, which is either Togo, Benin, or Niger, which is also very close around, they still have that receptiveness. Despite somewhere like Nigeria, they speak different language. Somewhere like Togo, they speak, then Benin, they speak different language, but they still have that receptiveness. Why? They know that, yes, they don't talk of we in Nigeria. What we were experiencing right now is the system that just happened within a decade ago, just from, let's say, far back as 8 to 9 years ago. Within a decade ago, that things have having turned over negatively, turned over in a very low esteem, where catering for the other person, no. And culture have everything, is entangles everything. Trust, the trust is loose now. Integrity is loose. Culture is encompassed with all these things.
All right, Honorable Garuba. Why I'm asking this is because we've seen in recent times where when people are alive, they're not being taken care of. People don't send them money. People don't show them care and love.
Yeah.
But as soon as they demise, we see people throw big parties. And this is becoming like a recurring thing, even in our present day. At what point did we miss these humanitarian virtues that we've inherited? Like you said, culture speaks volume in terms of love. At what point did we miss it?
Well, speaking ideologically and from a general perspective, it's something that is not only does we as other Africans or black man or anything. As I said, generally, ideologically, worldwide. Once they believe you are alive, you are breathing, you can sustain, you can survive. No matter how much or how little you can get, the struggle goes on, because everybody's fending for themselves or thereabout, except you have a group of people or you have an association, or you have a community that they are aware of you, you have something doing together that they know about that. That's when the culture that you have imbibed or the love or integrity you imbibed within that group of people, that community, they are aware of you. But the larger aspect of your connectivity, they might not really reach out to you then, because they feel that you are alive, you are defending, or you are breathing, until when they know, maybe some people don't even know about your demise until after a week or a month. Before they know that, does it have people left? Does it have anybody that, any or offspring or, wife or children or any kind of thing, before they start doing that. So it's a general phenomena globally. It's not just an African issue, or it's not just a Nigerian situation, but that's why, interestingly enough, they have something they call homes for the aged or elderly people. But here, we are not there yet. If you have reached the age of 80, 90, if you can reach 100 and you have nobody seriously to cater for you or so, is the community or the society or the government's tax to know that, okay, you should not be a burden to, you're not supposed to be a burden, but you should be a less stress to the younger ones. So they have a home that's prepared, that have cater for you, and they have people like the nurses and the rest that they feed very well. They give them the whole welfare they need to give them to take care of these aged people. But we don't have that here. And it's one of those things that is creeping into the system too. But when they hear those kind of people are late or they are gone, that's it. They say, this person did this, he has done that. Fine. Not to talk of the younger ones. So institutes that will cater under the humanitarian services is very necessary. We have those institutes, but they are not well executed. The implementation, beautiful on paper, but the execution physically, no. Let's take for instance, there's a viral video that has been on when the flood situation in Bruno, when the humanitarian services were supposed to be given to them. What are they giving them? Bread. For crying out loud, how long will it do? You say you're going to buy like 100,000 bread. Well, how many days will it do for them?
All right. As a further conversation, Honorable Garuba, should there be a time frame for response time to human cry, and when there is a deficiency in terms of our humanity drive? Should there be a time frame for it? For example, I need help, and you are in the capacity to help me. Is there a time frame for it, for your response to me?
You know, what help I look at as supposed to be, if I'm to help you, you are also supposed to be empowered enough to help the next person. You should not continually be a dependent that, okay, this man has no other thing to do than just be helping you. So there should not be a time frame, one, but you should have that parameter. It's not that I'll stop helping you. At times, the help might just be an advice I'll give to you, how to go about it so you can be sustainable, you can have your own continuity of life. You understand? So it should be a symbolic activity, symbolic relationship when it comes to those assistants. So if there's a help that you need, if you need a help, what can you do? How can you be sustainable? How can you do this? Maybe your problem is, for example, it's a 5 million naira issue, and I'm ready to give you 50 million naira. You should know that it's more than the problem. That means you solve your problem, you can invest in yourself, and even invest in another person. Right. That's a very good help. But a lot of us don't go that way. We do it the other way around now. Maybe your problem is 5 million naira, I'll just go for 1 million naira or 2 million, I give you as I've done. So I've not even been able to even blow you enough, because your issue is more than, and I'm not giving you up to it. You know, that's another aspect of help. Either financially, emotionally, intellectually, the helps can come in every which way. So this humanitarian service we're doing, I just use an instance with this bread issue. That's not a help that can be sustainable. So you see, they will keep on being dependent. They will keep on asking for more, needing more. But there be a way has been created where they know that these people, what we are giving them, the sanitary health issue, care is there, the food agriculture issue is there. They have created all those things. They have the shelter, the homes that they can really stay, you know, to cover them from the weather, harsh weather or whatever. The security is being provided. Once all these things are there, these people know that they have that comfort for them to also assist other people around them. But when you just give them out of 5 to 10 things, they just have only one. They're going to cater for the rest by themselves. You see, the help must still continue.
All right, thank you for that quick response. A lot of NGOs right now are springing forth everywhere, and one of their mantra has always been that they want to support humanity. But then again, instead of supporting humanity, we've seen to a large scale that most NGOs are rather empowering themselves to, maybe through wealth or through materials or what have you. Let's throw away. Let me hear your take on this issue on the diversification of public funds by various NGOs, governmental agency. Is it possible for we to have such a thing happen? We had whispers, but then you are more of a field person. So is it possible for NGOs to even divert public funds? Is it possible at all?
Yeah, well, in this world, there's nothing that's impossible. In a human life, nothing that's impossible. It's something that should say what God cannot does not exist. So everything is possible. If you see something negative is taking place or positive is taking place, it's due to like minds. So for NGO to be able to divert fund, is public fund, is due to the public servants in that aspect. perhaps they might come with a positive mindset. But because if some of the public servants in that sector or in that sections or in that ministry or that developmental agency, they will want to let them know that, okay, how much do you want to do this work? The NGOs that have submitted, the proposal or how to carry it out effectively. They can tell you we have a 15 billion naira work to do. The people will tell you, okay, we're going to give you 500 million naira. What are they going to do 500 million naira when they know the 15 billion naira work is not there? So what has happened to the remaining amount of money? It's not even like a 5 billion naira thing they're giving you. You have brought a proposal of 15 billion naira to take care of a situation for the next 6 months or 1 year as an NGO. Then what you hear or what you see, at first the delay is there, the frustration is there, the lack of integrity and lack of trust is being created there. You see how now funds are being diverted. Now, what comes up on air or what people hear about is the name of the NGO at the forefront. But actually, the actual stakeholders and key players of this system, they are at the back of the screen. They are at the back of the screen, they are back of the scene, doing what they need to do. So now it's the NGO, they'll say, okay, you said I did this, partner with this, for example, or UNA did this, or partner with that, and that's only what we hear. But how did they come about that they did not be able to deliver within the 6 months or within the 1 year? We have other factors that might be involved. If it's not the economic situation or hike in prices of things, you have the weather situation, climate change, now the flood there, rain there, sun there, inconduciveness of activities. So when we are to look at all this, this is how and why we perceive it as NGOs might be diverting public funds. I happen to be serving with some NGOs, couple of some NGOs, and I know what we go through. So I'm not saying it out of I think so. No, I'm saying out of a field person in the aspect. As I'm talking to you, we're supposed to have a community services within the axis of Kwale Abaji to have this development of agricultural issue to empower them, let them be self-sufficient on their own. With the NGO that has been approved, the funds supposed to be have sent to do this, to carry it out, the farm implements, the tools, empowering this, training and retraining people as a project director. As I'm talking to you, this has kickstarted, supposed to have finalized since before February. But we're now in like September, looking at October in the next few days. How many months down? 8 months down the drain. So this is a very clear observation that I did not hear say, no, I know about it. Then there are other types of NGOs I know, either perhaps I've been a consultant in it and thereabout. Now, if they are supposed to carry it out, let's say the Senate, for example, they are aware of this NGO, it's an international base, the first thing that comes to their mind, how much are they going to get out of it? It's not what Nigeria is going to get or what our name is going to make up out of it. Or tomorrow, if I sit up from this side, if I stand up from this seat, next time I come to sit on this seat, know that some things have been created. The seat has been comfortable, the table is good. That means somebody was here, he has made it good. If we have that kind of mindset as public servants and partner with private sectors and other international organizations, I think we'll go a long way. I said it earlier, it's like minds. It's all about mindset. So if like minds of positivity comes together, a lot of positive things keep on taking place. Then if like mind of negativity come together, then I don't think we are going anywhere. But when you are mixing it up, sometimes the positive people want to move forward, the negative people might just be tying you backward.
But in a situation of this magnitude that you just painted, we have, where you said it's impossible for like minds to want to defraud even donors. But then I'm a bit lost.
Okay.
If you collect money for a certain purpose, which is to serve humanity, and you embezzle such a fund, should we call that a character deficit, or we should call it a person that is heartless, or a person that does not even have a heart at all? What should be the narrative? Because it looks like wickedness in a broad daylight, or don't you agree?
You have said it all. It's a choice issue. It's a choice issue. Already, the person or the people is not just a one-man show, but it's a one-man that stands in front of the show. It's not a one-man thing. It's a one-man that's very good to take the bullet for like 10 people behind him. But the 10 people must have really instigated him and they have gotten their own share, and through him, things are making place. So the person, consider it heartless, consider it wicked, consider it whatever. I said it earlier on. It's a group of people who have that negative like minds to embezzle or divert fund that was supposed to be made for a particular purposes. We are seeing it all around. We are hearing about it all around. Some people say, leave it, he's just talking because, or she's just talking because he's not yet there or because they have not yet experienced it. No. There's always something for somebody. And I said it earlier on. If you have done well, you are standing up from that place. What is there for you? You must have sat there. You must have made some changes. You know that you're going to live there sometime. So that name you have made, you know that definitely your welfare will be provided for you. Some other amenities or some other incentives. The incentives will be provided for you. So you are supposed to appreciate that, be contented. Another language, lack of contention. You know, because you are there, you have the power, you have the money, you have the authority. So you feel that, okay, other people who are there to just try to say how they can make things happen. You don't want to make things happen through them, or you don't want them to make things happen. But that kind of choice, I said, it's a choice of the mind. You being a minister in that place, or being a director of that place, or being a PAMSEC of that place, it's not going to be forever. No matter if it's 10 years or 20 years, you can never stay there forever. But what name have you left behind? What impact have you made on human services? What have you made on the society? What impact have you made on the community? How much have they felt you? When they say, okay, this state governor left this state, these are the things the governor has put in the state. You must have made some impact in those people. Of recent, interestingly enough, some states like Katsina and Kwara, in a period of time, they have to reduce their food prices. So you see, it's more like it's a self-inflated situation. Most things we're going through. This is not God-caused issue. We inflated it on ourselves as humans. That's one of the basic things about choice again. Negativity. You want to see some people suffer for not good reason. There's no reason for us to suffer. Give aside. Okay, say an individual that is trying to make Nigeria to be less in the burden of world crisis, Dangote. But there's some set of people, this is where we're coming from now. So let's be practical in what we are saying. Where people see that, yes, it's happening ideologically, it's happening clearly. There's some small group of people that are not up to like 1 million. They are making decisions over what he wants to do with his product and how he wants to serve the human beings around the country. It's one of kind of small humanitarian services. Yeah, Dangote is going to get his remuneration for what he is doing. But these people, they want a larger share. So because of that, they say, okay, you're not going to go anywhere. It's another thing. See, he's not a complete NGO. It's an organization, it's an industry that is trying to say how he can infect people, but he wants to partner with the public, with the government, but they want to see how they can make it like a frustrated effort. So this is another clear example that of what we are saying. So how do we get here? The mindset, choice making. We just wake up one morning, someone has nowhere to drive to because he doesn't have a destination. He just on his car and start driving. You cannot drive to somewhere you don't have a destination. So
Get about them. We'll take a short break right now. We'll come back. We'll even talking about some more pressing issue that borders on humanitarian conversations, even as borders on the Federal Capital Territory. Viewers, go nowhere. Signature Morning continues in a moment.
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome back, and just in case you're just joining us, this is still Signature Morning here on Signature TV, and we're talking to Mr. Adamu Garba on some of the humanitarian issues in Nigeria. But then we'll narrow it down again to the northern part of Nigeria now, which brings me to this part of the conversation. In the far north, we've seen a lot of NGOs and a lot of persons being saddled with responsibility of providing support people for the flooded victim of Borno. In the far north, we've seen various organizations being saddled with responsibility of taking care of a lot of human support by provision of agricultural tools, machines, and what have you. But then we do a critical assessment on some of the outcome of this, especially within the north. The result is always far from reality. How did we get to this point?
Oh, Mr. Godwin. Oh. The North is a long story.
You want to share with us?
But I'll share a little light, or I shed a little light about it, because it's not something we can talk it out
All right.
all at once. Number one, the North look at themselves as highly populated people. They have 19 states out of the 36 states, which is virtually more than half. The population is there. The field population is number is power, which is true. But we are saddled with all these situations because we have some not only clueless but also incompetent, some of the people who have to give good governance to the states of the northern parts of Nigeria. They just want, as we have discussed, we have identified earlier, they don't want to use power and sit on the seat, but they don't understand that it's service to humanity. You are not there to be served by the humans anymore. You are there to serve you are there as a servant. It's not very few northern states that they have that humanity services in them, embedded in them, because they know that it's from the people they are, and from the people and onto the people they will return when they finish that service. We have evidence from some of the past governors that have realized it. Now they can work freely amongst the people because they know they have done something. Fine. So it's a recurring thing. So some of these NGOs, as you earlier asked or said, some of these NGOs who are saddled with responsibility, who are partnered with the state governors or state government, but they are not able to execute it to the time frame, due to the time frame also. It's one of those things we have identified. Sometimes due to some public servants at the state level also that are back of the scene or back of the screen. They will know what to say or what to talk. Then now those NGOs or those private organizations that do the humanitarian services, they are the ones that their names are front there. But if it is spelled out and some of these state governors or state governments, they stand on their feet and say, my people first, our people first, because you are part of the people. It's as good as that.
I'm even taking the conversation even far deep into Plateau State.
Okay.
And there's a scenario that played out in Plateau State where fertilizers were meant for farmers.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be shared to farmers.
But was sold to them.
It was rather sold to them.
Yeah.
Fertilizers was shared to NGOs to distribute to certain people, even in Gombe. Similar scenario. So I'm asking, that's why I'm even asking at this point in time, within the north, we see people going through challenges. Apart from fertilizers, we've seen education where books were supposed to be given to schools. and those books never saw the light of day. People contribute money to give to a lot of NGOs and private bodies to do a lot of things in the north. And when we measure up results to performance, it's in a near state of comatose. I'm asking again, how did we not get to this point? Because we are known in the north for being truthful,
liberal,
honest, and fair in our dealings with humans. But right now, it is almost becoming the order of the day, which is deceit, using humanitarian clothing. So I'm asking, was there a beginning point to this whole trajectory and to where we are? Because we need to establish these premises.
Sure.
So how did we get here to start with? Was it intruders that came and influenced the Northerners, or something changed? That's what I'm asking. That's why I started this conversation with our cultures.
Yeah.
But how did we get to this point? How did we change to this point?
Well, it is. There's a saying that goes that 1,000 steps begins with one step. 1,000 miles. You want to cover 1,000 miles or so. It's a step. So it's a gradual process that diffuses into the system gradually. And how did it start? The people who know about it, most of them are not there. But it was like gradually happening without people taking note of it. It started from a sector or a section. Then people started realizing, if you can do like this, let's do like that. Okay, let's just make it practical now again. At first, from the public sector, we have these public schools, we have the government schools, we have all the whole government schools, all the federal government schools, Then some people started building their own personal schools. How did they get the money to build their personal schools? Public servants building private schools. You see how it started gradually. It started 1 man, 2, 3. Western private schools, they started gradually. Then now people start diverting and say, okay, if you can have, I can have, I can have. Then now they started going gradually into agriculture. Now the government might decide, or in the ministries, they will decide to sell or share maybe rice, because it's one of the common food then. They will share bags of rice. Then people look at the market. They are sharing bag of rice at the rate of maybe 30,000, 40,000 to you. They'll break it down into your salary range that you can pay for 3 months, maybe 10,000 or 15,000, depending on how much they share it. Then someone carry that same bag of rice to the market and sell it at 85,000 naira or 80,000 naira. Now that person in the market will buy it at that, because you see that he has like 10,000 naira grain. Then he will resell it to the end user at 90,000 naira. You see how gradually it has started. Now we are going about the fertilizer. It was shared, supposed to go down, but what happened? They feel that the farmers need it, and the farmer know that if he gets it, he'll put the price inside his crop to sell to the sellers at the market. The same books that's supposed to be written not for sale. As I said, in Nigeria or in Black Massa, there's nothing is impossible. There are people who know how to go about it to change just the cover of the book. Some people can go through the pay to change that not for sale. They look for the publishers, they make it not for sale to be wiped out. Now they will sell it again to the market. It can go on and on and on, because these are things that we see almost every day. If you have your kids in school, you go and buy the books, you see what is going on. And some of these private schools, they partner with some of these publishers, because you can't imagine during our days, the books I know, or some of the textbooks I've used, apart from my notebooks, some of the textbooks I use, some of my younger ones, they also used it. But now some of the textbooks they use now, no. If you use the textbook, there's a part that you do some work, you write, and so it's virtually not of use again to the next person. You see another gradual aspect of this in the north. It's not only just in north, in Nigeria as a whole, but it's more feasible in the north because we hardly complain. The northern, you keep on going through pain and keep on going through what is going through, the tremendous activities and actions. You say to go better, it will be better. It go better, it will be better. He'll keep on managing his pain. The only thing now, something that he uses 5 naira to buy a whole bulk. Now that 5 naira cannot even buy half of it. You say, at least if I can get small, I'll manage it. So the citizens, I won't use the word masses, the citizens of the country, they have the right they have the constitutional right, but not all of us in the north understand the constitutional right. They just know that I wake up, I thank God, I can exist, I can even eat one meal in a day, I thank God. You know, if you look at it, the highest number of the less privileged who are on the street, that they call them the almajiris, but they call them those scholars that's supposed to be training these children under the Islamic guideline. They don't have that. They have not eaten for 2 days or a whole day, but they have to read. Then after that, they go out and ask for arms, how to survive. They can go into anything to do it. Of recent, there's a part in Kano that a whole street, it's a viral video also, but the friend that videoed it sent it to me directly and said, can you imagine the governor or the state government of Kano, a whole street, more than a 10-kilometer walk, is filled up with ladies, girls underage from 3, 2 down to 15, and you have a section again that the mothers are there, elderly ones, aged ones. These are ladies, these are girls. Where is the humanitarian services there?
Honorable Garba, I think that at this point we need to even look at this thing holistically.
Mm-hmm.
It is becoming more worrisome lately when we look at some of our passion and drive for humanity. Then one will begin to ask salient questions as, shouldn't we at this point be having conversations around localization of our humanitarian services in terms of NGOs? Why are we not having the conversation of every NGO that should spring forth will be to solve a particular issue and must be local? Because the idea of having an NGO in Abuja that doesn't understand the challenge of the people in Taraba and is the one championing the cause to solve problems in Taraba, it looks too vague. Or what do you think about this?
To be candid with you, once you call anything NGO, it's called non-governmental organization that encompass not only the people of that locality, it encompass people of different region. You must have the power and the knowledge and the know-how of your region. You are part of the NGO, or you have a connection in that region that you can tell me what is wrong with that part. So we have them, and I told you I'm an NGO person, so and I'm still involved in it. So there's called the connectivity. I am here, I have people in Bruno, I know the strength. That's why some NGOs, they have branches within states. So the localization of NGOs, yes. The conversation of NGOs, yes. But the talking and not do, no. We are very good in good English grammar, talking and writing. But the implementation for it to be sustainable, we are looking at the sustainability aspect in the action-driven part of the NGOs. We have some action-driven mindset involved in NGOs who are ready to carry out activities, but that talk is always ongoing. They keep on postponing or suspending actions that need to take place to serve the humanitarian services. You know, who are the people doing that? No word that can take place without action, and no action can take place without funding, support, financial ones, and the rest. The emotions might be there, they are ready. Their intellectual aspect is there, they are ready. But the logistics to ensure that these NGOs carry it out effectively is a problem. And once these NGOs are looking at the fact that we need to partner with our state government or need to partner with our federal government, and the federal government, they claim that their hands are already filled up. Instead of looking inward to see how they can solve their problem inside, they prefer to go outside to go and employ, or like use the word, even import foreigners. I think that's what we're good at. We are importing foreigners to come and serve us here. So at least we are good at something. We are importing foreigners to come and do our services here, to do other things. It's not. Why do we have all this knowledge? We are very skilled, we are talented, we are gifted. Use what you have to get what you want within your brain. But we here, our NGOs, we have realized that before, as a Nigerian NGO goes to Nigerian government or in every atmosphere, either the Ministry of Sports or so, or even the FCT ministers, before you can attend to you and the rest, you see a Chinese company or an Indian man or thereabout, a Lebanese place, they will come, they say they want to open social institute, or they want to have social place to do social liberation of human being and the rest. And they will attend to that person because they feel that he comes in with a foreign affair. You understand? So those kind of aspects, it's necessary for us to look inward, appreciate our own. There was a government far back then that said, use making Nigerian goods.
Yeah.
If the law is passed from up and we stick to it sincerely, make use of Nigerian goods, appreciate your country, Nigerian first, all those rules and laws and properly implemented, and they are being followed, the next person that will come on seat should appreciate it and see how it grows. If you are wearing making Nigerian shirt, fine. Or you say our fabric house, a lot of things will be reduced. There are some NGOs who what they want to do, doesn't want to go into empowerment or fashion design and the rest. They will have a very big hall that can contain more than 1,000 people. You know, I just mentioned about Kanu issue. Most of these ladies that are doing what they are doing there, they can have a big hall, big factories of machines, beads, and the rest. These are ladies' work they can do. There are men that do that, but these ladies off the street can be off. Yeah. It's a humanitarian service. So when we see that, let us say that sometimes we have clueless people in the government, and we have some people who are not competent enough.
Garba, let's even look at this from, since you've mentioned the government, there are blueprints being put by the government to ensure that things of this magnitude can be combed and issues like this can be ironed, I believe. But then, of late, it's as if that when people do all of this, they get away with it because we've not seen any form of arrests. We've not seen any form of sanction in the open to serve as a deterrent for people. Is this the right way to go as a people in order to ensure that humanity and the human race and humanitarian services are being given the top-notch priority that it deserves?
Well, the blueprint from the government, as I said, we have always been saying it. I was still going around the clock saying this.
And of course, there's a blueprint from the government.
Yes, there's a blueprint. It's as good as the talk and not do. It's as good as we have everything on paper, but it's not being implemented. These are just the ways we're still talking. Interestingly enough, why most of these people are not being properly scrutinized, even they claim to get scot-free or go scot-free. Sometimes, that's the way I've said it, and I'm still saying it. I said with all open-mindedness. At times, they might not come to the limelight and say, this person did this, person did this, person did this. No. They might just use one person as an scapegoat that takes the fire for the rest. That's the only person that might put in the front, and how this system of Nigerian governance or policy is always being run. If they bring somebody today on air, everybody's concentrating on his problem and everything, they create another problem to make you forget about the first problem. It's a systematic gameplay that. So they bring another problem today, they create another problem, you forget the other one. So if they bring, okay, far back as the time of, let me even just use this era. Let's see when they say Dasuki Gate came to reign for some time. It was wiped out, and they brought something about airplane, airline, So they would just want the people who have something to talk about. So it's problem even the system creates for the people to be talking about. And most of the times, our media houses and the rest, if we are still channeling our strength positively to be looking for these kind of topics that we can talk about concerning the humanitarian services, concerning the humanity of the country, the way forward, how to drive for the interest of the people, I think also it will help the mindset of those who are on the seat, because they now know that these people, the media are passing message to us. Now these people will have it in their mind that next time you're coming to look for that seat that you are sitting there outside the House of Rep or a Senate or a governor, now this media are helping these people to realize where they are coming from. They are not giving it the constitutional right and the directions, where they know that, oh, you were there and the records are on board. Technology don't lie. The media have their records. So at times they can play your record for you about 10 years ago, 20 years ago, of what you have done or what you say you're going to do and you didn't do. So we're good at the talking, we have been conversing for more than how many years of the democratic issues that we are there. We have left an era that then they talk less and do more. And that era has made a lot of impact that Nigerians are still enjoying till tomorrow. If you know what I'm saying about, before this democratic time came, the people might have looked at it negatively because not everything will favor everybody, you not favor 100%, but there are a lot of things that have been created during that era, and we are still benefiting from it today. And if they say, they don't say for long, they only sit down, you can see a place that less than 50 people sit down and decide for the country, and they ensure it is implemented. If they say within 24 hours we don't want to hear PIM, you don't have any right to say anything, because they don't have time to talk too much. They can call a contractor or call an NGO or thereabout. Okay, you want to do this? Okay, this is how it goes. Like the people first, make sure you get it done. Superb came through that era. PTF came through that era. Building the Abuja road to Kano came through that era. A lot of institutes were created through that era. And most of the people who lived during that era, they have done some interesting things. But here, we have this food dragging system. That's why I use the word. Sometimes there's some that are clueless and they are incompetent. You know that you have a time frame of 4 years or less than 4 years, because the fourth year you don't even have it on the seat anymore. The third year, I started thinking of how to do the next campaigning. So you have less than 3 years to do what you want to do. So maximum, give or take, comfortably. Understand? And conveniently, the truth be told, you have 2.5 years on your seat. So what are you going to implement within that 2.5 years? If you have a good intention, you have a positive mind. Now to identify those who have the good intention, positive mind around you also, you see some of them, they are being tinted with some egocentric activity, and it will delay.
Well, Honorable Garba, a lot of things we need to talk, especially as it borders on humanitarian services,
sure.
Especially in the north. We need to talk on what we are getting right and what we are not getting right,
sure.
And what the government can do to also ensure that we get a lot of things right. But I'm being signaled by my producer that it's time to go, so I want to say thank you so much for being a part of Signature Morning today.
Thank you very much, and a very good morning to us.
All right, viewers, this is how far we can go this morning. I want to say thank you for sticking with us till this time. Don't take it for granted, but do remember that the conversation doesn't end on this table. Conversations continue on all our social media handle. Should you want to join us on our social media handle, you can, of course, follow through the links that are displayed on the screen to be part of the show. And of course, you can leave a comment for us to know what you think about this issue. You can also do a replay, watch a replay on our app from the Google Play Store. You can get the app, and also for iOS users, you can also get it from Apple and other platforms. Well, is how far we can go this morning. I want to say once again, thank you so much. Do remember that peace and unity are the pathways to progress. From all of us here in the studio, it is bye for now.